Peace, love, and wisdom to all who have clicked this message. In this message today, we're going to deal with a topic that is a little more closer to home, and then we're going to bring it back around into the cosmos as we've always done. We're dealing with a message today that covers multiple range of topics, but the center view or the point of view for this message is white supremacy and the white systems that have caused this white supremacy. And we're also dealing with the second part of African alchemy, or African, the pre-existing form before chemistry. Understand, regardless of what your white philosophers tell you, the word chemistry is related to the word Kemet, which is the original word for Egypt. Egypt is a word that the white theologians have used, and the white archaeologists and those who wish to continue to cover up the true black history, and not the month that they're giving us in the hells of North America. Not to be off topic, but we hear Sister Stacey Dash say that she'd wish that we just go ahead and just rid of Black History Month. Just go ahead and get rid of it. Well, although we do not give our opinion many times, we'll give it now. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. The true black history is in the melanin or the pineal gland or the Akashic record of the mind. So if you want to take away some material thing that you gave us to shut us up, and take it away. Because the true black philosophers of this world don't need a month. Because to us, it's Black History Month every month. So we say to Stacey Dash, get out of here with that kind of nonsense. Get out of here with that kind of nonsense. So we're going back into our message. So we're dealing with white supremacy. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us, that the black man and that the black woman in the hells of North America were robbed of their entitlement. What does it mean when you're robbed of your entitlement? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that you're robbed of your name. You're not Bobby Williams. You're not Michael Johnson. You're not Frederick Simmons. That's not your name. These are the names and the titles in the language of your slave masters or your former slave masters, or however you want to look at it, because many of us are still in this mental slavery. Therefore, when you are robbed of your entitlement, Minister Farrakhan teaches us that you are robbed of your land as well. Dr. Umar Johnson, in a lecture that he gives, he teaches us that before or after the Reconstruction period, or during this time, the black man and woman had owned 1.5% of all the land in the hells of North America. But 400 some years later, he says, we still own that same percentage of land. So you must ask yourself, are we truly progressing past this robbery of our entitlement? Or are we just shutting up because we've been told to do so? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that we were robbed, black man and black woman. We were robbed by the ancestors of the white people in America. So we're not saying we know your defense, white man and white woman. We know your defense. Your defense is always, well, we didn't do it. We didn't say it. We didn't kill you. We didn't hang your women by their ankles and cut out the babies as the babies hit the ground. We didn't take your babies down to Florida and use them as bait, and we didn't hang your babies from the trees in Florida and let the gators come up and use the babies to catch the gators, and then we did not take the skin of the gator and make Stacey Adams. We did not do that. We did not come to Africa or Al-Khebulan and take your people. We did not do that. But it doesn't matter if you did it or not. It says in the Holy Bible about Nebuchadnezzar and how Nebuchadnezzar would rule the beast, would rule the nations of the planet. But there would come a time when Nebuchadnezzar's sons and his sons' sons would rule. Well, you are the sons of your fathers, and your sons will be your sons' sons. And you are who the Bible is speaking about. Any time, black man and black woman, you are robbed of something, there is a just system in this country now that can gain that back from you. If I break into your house and I steal your radio, not that I would do that, but if I were to do that, I would be prosecuted under theft, and I would be justly and rightly accused, charged, and sentenced for that crime. Where is the justice in the 400 prior to and continuing on of physical and mental slavery of the black man and black woman of America? But now we're also including the poor white and the poor other ethnicities on the earth and also on the hills of North America. Because we're dealing with Brazil, we're dealing with Cuba, we're dealing with Colombia, Peru. They're all black. Don't allow that Spanish language. Understand that the Spanish colonials came and took your language. The Portuguese colonialists came, Brazilians, and took your language from you. Who knows what your language was before? But you speaking Portuguese now. You're not Portuguese. So you should know just from that manner or that action, that way that you speak, that you do not know of your true history. So that is what we're making known today. When you're talking about slavery, you can't talk about slavery unless you talk about the Atlantic slave trade. What is the Atlantic slave trade? The Atlantic slave trade is the triangular slave trade route that the whites, the Arabs, the Jews, nobody was innocent in these crimes, brought us from Africa, or Alchemy, and brought us to the hills of North America. We were brought to a strange land by a strange man. The definition of strange is something that we do not understand. It's different from the norm. It's different from the status quo. Well, we're still in a strange land because this land that we're in and the strange man that runs this strange land, the land is becoming more and more stranger by the day to the black man and black woman. How can I prove to you that it is becoming strange? Well, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the black man and black woman were brought to a state of a mental death. Excuse me, my microphone is all tangled up. Give me a second. I apologize. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the black man and the black woman, we were brought to a mental dead state and kept there. And it was in the 1930s that Master Fard Muhammad came and taught the most honorable Elijah Muhammad the knowledge to bring or rise this dead black man and black woman up. What has happened is that with the death of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the misunderstanding of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan Muhammad, we have been subjected to another period of mental death. So it is up to us, those who are the students of these great men, Noble Drew Ali, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Dr. Umar Johnson, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Phil Valentine, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's up to us to take these teachings and make them relevant to now. Well, during the Reconstruction period of the war, after the Civil War, when the Civil War occurred because there was an argument over the slaves. Oh, no, you may say to me, you may say to us, that the Civil War occurred because Abraham Lincoln wanted to free the slaves. But may I quote to you what Abraham Lincoln said about the slaves. He said, if I could free the slaves and keep the Union, I would do that. If I could keep the slaves in capture and keep the Union, I would do that. Letting you know right off the bat that Abraham Lincoln did not free a soul lest he was trying to save the state of the Union. And still to this day, when you're looking at your Democratic debate, your Republican debate, and all of these political games and these entertainment, these run around, ring around the rosy games, they play with your mind and they play with your freedom. And this is for everybody. They play with your laws right on your TV. They're doing a dog and pony show for you to see. You know this. I don't have to tell you that. You know this. And in the midst of this political game, in the midst of the political theater, we are the audience. Dr. Khalid Muhammad teaches us that there are two types of realities. There's the reality of the black man and black woman. And then there's the reality of the white controllers of the black man and black woman's music, history, everything. Everything. So we're trying to break the seal on this reality. So we're going to deal with some science today to break that seal. So we know that we've been robbed. We know when we've been robbed, how we've been robbed, but why have we not yet got our property back? The reason why we haven't got our property back is because in the ancient times, in the ancient days, and not even so far ancient, we don't have to go but 3,000 years back. We don't have to go but 500 so years back and see how the Christian dogma, or the white European Christian dogma, has brought the black man's mind to a complete stage of amnesia. And I'm going to prove to you in an article on www.blogspot.com. It gives different quotes on white philosophers saying what I'm saying what we at the temple are saying what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying what the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan Muhammad is saying. So now there's no reason for you, black man and black woman, to doubt us. If you look on blogspot.com and you find this article, on the article, it says, and I quote, this quote is by Roger Highfield of the Telegraph. The Egyptians, not the ancient Greeks, were the true fathers of medicine, dating back 3,500 years, found proof that the inception lies not with Hippocrates, 460 BC to 370 BC, but in Egypt or Kemet and the likes of Imhotep, who lived 2066 BC to 2648 BC. And that's Roger Highfield from the Telegraph. In another quote, a white philosopher says, and this is Herodotus. Herodotus says the name of nearly all the gods came to Greece from Kemet. The names of all the gods have been known in Kemet from the start of time. But that is not what they teach our children in school. They teach our children that in the white educational system, that either Egypt existed alongside Greece, even though when I give you the timelines, you clearly see that Egypt was long gone off the scene before Greece was around. So then we have to deal with this time discrepancy. Or they teach the whites and the blacks with this white supremacy's ideology in history in the school that the Egyptians were white. Look at your new motion pictures coming out about the movies in Egypt. Every single character in the movie is a white. Every single character in any Egyptian movie you've seen. When you're dealing with the Romans, they were black. Look at 300, they're white. When you're dealing with the Greeks, they were black. But you look at the Greek movies and they're white. They know that they were not white. But the colonial went and abused the demographic of the lands. So now you're seeing these white people. But even if you go to Greece, they're not all white. There's some of them are so dark, you would be confused. You think that one of the brothers was from California with a tan. They're so dark. When you go to Arabia, what we see on Arabia on the Middle East, they say, which is really just East Africa, but they see on the TV in Arabia. If you go to Al Jazeera, just look at all of the Arabs they put on TV. Well, they're all white Arabs. You'll rarely see a documentary on black Arabs. Why? They don't want you to know. Because Jerusalem and all of these places are in the so-called Middle East. So if you didn't know that 85 to 87% of all the demographic of Arabia is black-skinned Arabs. If you were to know that, that would change the way you view the holy books. So we're dealing with this. If you look into another quote on this, this quote was made by Robert Bayouval on Occult Science Radio on August 4th, 2011. So you can go look it up too. I don't have to make anything up. In the article, it says the bottom line is that the civilizations of Egypt is the origin. Its very beginning was a product of a black historic people that lived in the Sahara for thousands of years before they came down to the Nile Valley, about 3,500 years before Christ, with their knowledge of construction. 2,000 years later, we got the pyramids. This is a white philosopher on Occult Science Radio on August 4th, 2011. The word occult means hidden. I don't know if we covered that in the previous episode, but the word occult means hidden. It doesn't mean evil. It doesn't mean devil. There's no such thing as a devil in the ground. Dr. Khalid Muhammad teaches us there's no such thing as a devil in the ground. There's no such thing as a God out in a mystery God in the sky. When we're talking about God, we're talking about the generator, the operator, and the destroyer. That's you. You generate, you operate, and you destroy. But you have been letting your counterparts destroy you. So we're trying to give you a defense for this destruction. I am a fan of the saying, you never have to raise up your hand in a debate. You never have to speak personally or violent about anybody. Because I've always been a fan of the saying that if you come from your lip, you'll never have to shoot from your hip. So we're dealing with this. Now, we're going to go into some more quotes. We haven't had enough of these quotes. We haven't had enough of these quotes. If you look into the article on Blogspot, it says the transition from the paganism for which the name ISIS stood was a stealthy, insensibly prolonged blending. And this was said by R. Witt in the book called ISIS in the Ancient World. Listen to what R. Witt says, the white philosopher, for which the transition from paganism for which the name ISIS stood. Didn't I say in the last message that paganism is a word that means someone who is celebrating a religion outside of the word religions? So when we say pagan, we're talking about the religions that dealt with the Yoruba, that dealt with the Egyptian or the Comitian mystery systems. We're not talking about some multiple god demonic witchcraft. This is the way they have you thinking, black man and black woman. So you don't go and touch your own history. But then they take those same symbols and they put them in the Katy Perry Dark Horse video. They take those same symbols so that you are afraid of them. We gotta hit pop culture and we gotta go back into the cosmos. But we gotta go all around every subject just to get you to see all of the hidden things that the white philosophers have gotten you to believe.